right, dear friends, welcome back. This is WTV, and we are on your most watched Christian morning show. Sorry, and wake up to a purposeful day. Well, this morning we are going to tackle an important topic. It's a Thursday. It's a part of the week where we look into political matters from the Christian point of view. And so today we are looking at the Mahama Tracker, an assessment of the decisions of His Excellency in his first 2 weeks or so. In the meantime, let's go to Kumasi and say good morning to the Christian service.
The Christian Service University, a fully chartered private university in Ghana, is inviting applications for admission. Undergraduate programs include BSc Nursing and Midwifery, Computer Science, Information Technology, Bachelor of Business Administration, BA Communication Studies, Planning and Social Development, and Theology with Administration. Postgraduate programs include MSc in Accounting and Finance, Monitoring and Evaluation, Corporate Planning and Governance. We have MA MPhil Communication Studies, MA Christian Ministry with Management, Event Management, MPhil English and Mathematics Education. With quality, faculty and state-of-the-art facilities, we blend academic work with entrepreneurial mindset in all our programs. For more information, please call 0246 275375, 0240 154825, or 0244 596603, or visit our website www.csuc.edu.gh. CSU is located at Odenaho Kwadaso on the Kumasi-Obuasi Road, 100 meters off Star Junction. Choose CSU today to secure the future of Africa.
And to make him better known. That's
Ajefo ye ma ye ho akwaba asem kese ni asem bi ensie na emum asem so ba aka ana eyese ye. Now before I introduce to you my panelist for this rather wonderful discussion, please, you want to listen to this. Now, the 6th President of Ghana's 4th Republic, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, has hit the ground running with his agenda to reset Ghana and turn its economic fortunes for the better. The catchword is reset. Today, we are going to diagnose reset. Now, briefly after he was elected President, John Dramani Mahama, then President-elect, on Wednesday, December 18th, the year 2024, established the Operation Recover or Loot Oral Team. Now, the Oral Team, led by the Member of Parliament for North Tongue, Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa, is in the helm of affairs at the moment, gathering information from people so-called. Now, in the meanwhile, the President has made some very important decisions which is going to be on the table this morning for discussion. Number 1, revoking the appointment of all MMDCEs. Number 2, setting up a 12-member committee to avert a looming power crisis. Number 3, nomination of the first set of ministers, which also came with the appointment of some regional ministers designate. Reduction of the size of ministers from 30 to 23, the last one instructing the IGP to investigate and report on all election-related deaths for the 2020 and 2024 election years. Dear friends, help me welcome here in the studio 𝗛𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 𝗟𝗜𝗩𝗘. Yes, Dr. 𝗟𝗜𝗩𝗘, who is a lecturer with the UPSC, a governance and expert in political analysis. This morning, he is going to bring his expertise on board. Let me add, a member of the Ernest Bruce Society of the Methodist Church. Ani wakafatai kona nake anyami nitashe. All right, Anyami, welcome.
Thank you very much.
Good to have you here.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, so I also have online on Zoom a very good friend and no stranger to this television network, Major Albert Donchebe Esquire, a public relation expert and former director general of GBC. Major, good morning.
Good morning to you, my brother, and to my colleague in the studio, and to your audience out there. This is the first time I'm coming on this station this morning.
Yeah.
I'd like to wish everyone a very belated, however, a very happy New Year.
All right. Thank you so much. Well, Major, let's start from you. You have been with GBC as the head of the entire organization in a typical situation of a television network that is welcoming a new president. What will the atmosphere be for a typical working environment? What are the protocols that will usually happen within the establishment?
Well, I doubt that there will be any change in operations or in organization. Maybe fortunately or unfortunately, I didn't encounter that kind of situation.
Okay.
I came in the middle of an administration and left before that administration ended. So I didn't encounter a transition. However, I can imagine that, like I have already intimated, there won't be any changes in any way. The setup has been set up to stand for all time and for all occasions. Okay. So I presume that GBC would continue to do what it has always done, and would continue to operate the way it has always operated, and have correspondents and reporters at the presidency, as has always been the case, and ensure that activities of the presidency are very well covered for the benefit of all Ghanaians and the international audience. All
right, wonderful to that one. The last, before I come to my brother Ni, how will you assess President Mahama so far if you were a teacher and giving a marking scheme of 0 to 10 to rate him in terms of all he said he was going to do and what he has done within these 2 weeks? How will you rate him? Say, I
would say that I'm impressed so far with the speed with which certain actions have been taken. And we all know that in transitions, there's always a huge vacuum. And one needs to quickly try to step in. And even though there are constitutional provisions regarding how appointments are made and what kind of approvals you have to go through, I think the president has scored, in my estimation, highly in the kind of appointments that have been made so far. Remember, we've only done 1.5 weeks, maybe 11 days or so since he took over. But we can see that the critical sectors of the economy have already been covered in a way. Yeah. He's already appointed a finance minister, an energy minister, minister of justice and attorney general, and looked at security. So you can see that these, for him, the signals have gone out that I need to get a handle on these sectors of the economy or of governance in the country. So finance, the indication is there. Energy, indications have gone up. The Justice Attorney General, which of course portends accountability. And then of course our security. Without security, every other issue becomes a non-starter. So I think on this score, on the fact that he's taking actions within these sectors, I would score him an 8 for now.
All right. That's a heavy one.
Yes.
That's a heavy one. All right. Interesting.
Yes,
interesting.
An A. Good A.
Okay. All right. That's a heavy one. All right. So we'll be coming back to analyze some of his major decisions and some of the names that have come. Let's hear from our brother Amate. Amate, into also so dear na beti mi akamiro ba nyo we ke won ha le mark from 0 to 10.
I'll give him 7.5.
Hey, then he is still a good student. This man appears to be a good student.
Yeah. He's done very well.
Okay.
Except that the oral is quite worrying in the sense that it's more like, well, I was going to say witch hunting, but the response is always that if you are a witch, you need to be hunted. Otherwise, I feel since that thing has no legislative backing, it has to be suspended. And if you listen to them, one moment they say they are investigating, the next moment they say they're evaluating. It's all semantic, dance they have in there. I think President Mahama has done very well, especially when he announced, was it yesterday, that he was going to have a meeting with Asante-Hene on the 19th. So at least they could discuss issues of conflict, particularly focusing on the Boku issue. I think it's a great thing. And without security, like Major said, you cannot go anywhere. I mean, when you allow war or conflict to take over a nation, I mean, you can talk about the Gaza, you can talk about
Ukraine, Russia.
I mean, there's no development. And every coin you get should be directed in the buying of weapons and stuff. So I think with President Mahama coming in, he should make sure that these things are solved once and for all. I think he's also done very well, particularly looking at the relationship between him and the former president. Yesterday, for instance, he mentioned the fact that President Nana Addo told him that the Asante-Hene played a very crucial role in bringing a solution to a similar situation up north. He could have spoken without mentioning
his name.
If you take a look at his investiture, he deliberately put Nana Addo's contribution in the relationship at the very first paragraph and continued, so that nothing will get in the way. If you bring such statements in the middle, it gets lost. People's interest wane, and then you really don't get the impact you want. So I think thus far, he's done very well, trying hard. And if you listen to his tone, from the investiture till date, it's all been reconciliation. You may have some of his lieutenants punching harder, especially in reference to the oral. They're punching too hard. They should look up to their leader and then begin to toe a certain line.
Same line. Well, I think he had promised a father for all, not explicitly said in his statement, but it appears that he's come to unify, looking at the fact that he has a certain resetting agenda. We'll be coming to the resetting agenda, but once you have spoken about the aura, let me go to Major and come back to you. Major, Amata thinks that aura appears witch hunting, and I mean, so far not the witch to live, we Christians have said, and if there is a witch, we need the Holy Ghost to break you down. Is the president not doing something good? People say it's an unconstitutional committee. Will you affirm this or otherwise?
I think I would go out straight not to affirm this constitutionality issue. The committee is not subpoenaing anybody. It is not forcefully, sending security persons to arrest or to bring whole people in front of the committee. This is a fact-gathering committee. A committee to put together information in view of the fact that this government has given us 120 days within which they have to be able to discharge certain obligations or responsibilities. The government is in a hurry, to quote the phrase of our outgone president. And therefore, they've put together a preparatory committee. I mean, the bottom line is, or the operative word is preparatory, because we all know this is a transition. And so there is a vacuum. And we know what happens with vacuum. Anytime there is a vacuum, all kinds of elements, unsavory, rush into the vacuum. So to forestall the activities of persons who may want to take advantage of this vacuum to our disadvantage, the president has set up a committee to gather information, not to prosecute, not to persecute, but to gather information. What is wrong with information gathering? We all know that data gathering, information management in this country is very, very, very poor. In fact, it is in the midst of the poverty of the handling of information that all the evils in this country take place. And so, if a committee has been set up to ensure that we can start putting information together to be able to make the work of the agencies that have been set up to fast track these agencies, to ensure that they do not waste time gathering information. I don't see what is evil, what is unconstitutional, what is illegal about gathering information.
Is it not duplication of
Those
effort?
who are, those who are against, what do they have to fear?
What are they hiding?
I mean, yes, what do they have to fear about gathering information? They are not taking you to court. And so I don't see where the unconstitutionality, the illegality comes into play. The committee is to gather information. And sometimes in gathering information, they walk to where they have received information about a certain activity, just to be sure that what has been reported is what is happening. Okay. And then people, I think that all those who are, they may have issues. And we know what has happened in the past, that in the last 8 years, a lot of things have happened. And therefore, I think people are jittery.
Okay.
People are worried. I mean, and of course, you are worried if you know that something has happened that you yourself, you are not too sure about.
Yeah.
If you believe you have gone through the real channels, know nothing to worry about, you will sleep. But I can see that people are jittery, because you and I know things have happened in the last 8 years. If you are on the ground, I come from the Upper West region. I know what has happened with lands in my capital.
Yeah.
And of course, if you are one of the beneficiaries of those lands, will you sleep well? Wouldn't you want to put a bomb into Oral and destroy Oral? Because Oral would uncover you.
Yeah.
Oral will discover you. And I can believe that this is a situation in all other regions. And therefore, there are many of our relatives, friends, who have made hay in the last 8 years. I mean, in unscrupulous ways. And therefore, they are worried. And they should be worried. But we should not worry. The majority of us who voted for a reason. And Oral was one of the reasons. So how can you, after the victory, say that I went out with a proposal to do Oral? I've set up Oral. You say no. I should dismantle Oral. Okay. I think that Oral is
must
a good
continue.
thing.
Well, maybe the level of circumspection, the decorum that is needed to handle Oral is what is needed. Indeed, some legal luminaries like yourself have said that Ora is a witch hunting approach. Indeed, a member of the new Patriotic Party has called.
Not like myself. Not like myself. You said Ora. I have never said Ora was witch hunting.
Okay, all right.
I disagree.
Okay,
yeah.
So I was just saying that you are a legal person.
Yes.
That is like yourself. That's what happens.
Okay.
Yes, you have affirmed the fact that Ora must be operational. They are only a fact-checking, fact-gathering committee and not necessarily a prosecutorial committee, which we have. But I was referring to Mr. Ansansari, former director, Ghana School of Law, who is saying that he, in his opinion, thinks, apart from it not being constitutional, it's a tool of the oppressor to oppress the lean and already the person that is not working well. So let me come to Amate. Amate, this is what you agree to. the fact that this is a witch hunting approach. Major things that it is just a fat gathering. We are gathering. Yeah, gather.
I would like for you to ask Major whether he's taken a closer look at the composition of oral.
Okay.
The personalities involved. I mean,
could they have been any better or otherwise?
Could others have been chosen?
For example?
I mean, what I'm saying is, each of the membership has something to do with the previous government, something very grievous, something very painful.
Okay.
It's more like a vengeance. And these persons had been chosen to do the job.
Really?
Look at the composition. You mentioned
so you can mention one of them, and then you talk about the so-called pain they have against the previous government.
You remember 𝗟𝗏𝗘, for instance.
Okay.
He had a problem with, I mean...
Wound to me.
No. Some
the Ashanti
cocaine
region.
issues.
Yes, in the past.
The man in the past.
Yes.
When Kufuor was living, rather than reinstating 𝗟𝗏𝗘, he left in his handing over notes that males should reinstate.
Okay.
Why did that happen?
Okay.
Who are the other members?
𝗟𝗏𝗘𝗏𝗏 Sami.
Sami 𝗟𝗏𝗘𝗏𝗏 has been on a one-man chase. And absolutely,
but he was doing his constitutional duty as a member
and I
of
like the fact that we want to recover all looted.
Okay.
Looted, properties belonging to Ghana. But you were talking about duplication.
Okay.
Could a police have been used, or they would have been compromised?
Okay.
Could we have used any of the security agencies? I mean, these are the names. 𝗟𝗏𝗘𝗏𝗏 had done a very good job. I supported him all the way through, especially with the cathedral. Yeah, I mean, I'm a Christian, all right. I love God.
Yeah.
But when somebody sets out to do something on his own as a thanksgiving to his God, you don't suddenly turn around to involve the whole nation.
Okay.
And that, for me, was why we shouldn't have gotten to this level, sinking so much into a pit hole.
Okay.
Whoever dreamt of thanking God with his success in an electoral victory should have gone ahead to do what he had promised to do for God. You don't involve people, you don't coerce people, or in the military, like they say, you don't volunteer people by force.
Okay, so with that, you agree with Sami?
Yeah, I mean, he was doing a very good job.
So in no way can we tell him he is a hammer going to hammer the witches.
No, but what I'm saying in it is that he stepped on a few toes.
Okay.
Had confrontations and all that. What I'm saying in effect is that when you have pain in you and you are given a job such as this to do, you definitely would overstep your bounds.
Martin Pebu.
Well,
maybe he's the neutral person amongst.
Let's call some other persons.
Oh, well, so I wanted you, I single-handedly wanted you to talk about Martin Pebu because he was not, he was a sympathizer of the MPP.
Good.
And later said that he had changed his mind.
Good. So something might have happened, I guess. What I'm saying,
which we don't know.
Yeah. What I'm saying in effect is that the composition itself will give you an impression of soldiers on war or vengeance path.
Okay.
And that is one. Two, can't we use the existing security system? And that's why I was asking whether they could be compromised. Because we've really had successful resolution of matters using these. 𝗟𝗏𝗘𝗏𝗏, when Atayi was arrested, you saw the perfect job he did, linking up with International Police Interpol to travel out of Ghana to arrest Atayi and bring him back.
Yeah.
We could use the police when they are well resourced and other matters. So what I'm saying in effect is, well, you have assumed power. The headship is saying he's a father for all. Whichever method you use, so long as we recover our looted resources, will be appreciative. But let's be cautious.
Okay, in what we do. All right, Major, I will want your take on this because Amate threw a question to you. What will be your response to all the things our brother has said in the studio?
I can appreciate that my brother is a very